Jen and I actually met via email for the first time before we moved into the dorms together our freshman year at Ohio State. We were to move in with two other girls, and we were all sort of sending emails to each other to see like who's going to get the TV, who brings the, I don't know, whatever. And so one day we get an email saying from one of our other roommates, I'm going to go get a backpack. What color should I get? And I get an email back from Jen, and it says, I think you should get purple, but I'm a little biased because my favorite color is purple. And so, for those of you that know me, I'm super obsessed with purple. Like, everything in my room is purple. Like, I love what I'm wearing right now. And so, I knew that Jen and I were going to be like best friends when I saw that email. But the other side of me, the competitive side, was like, I don't want to be out purple. So I made sure that I went and got like purple bed sheets, purple shirts, purple everything. Well, I think that Jen might have out purple me today, so congratulations on that. You can only have this one day though. Okay. So I met Michael a year later, the summer after that, when Jen and I had decided to move back into the dorms together to be roommates again, and I had never seen Jen look at someone or talk about someone the way she did with Michael. And the kill was obvious. I mean, he was older, smart, attractive, but also he had a Mustang. But really, I knew that Michael was different almost immediately when I met him. He was the first man to really treat Jen like she should be, like beautiful and amazing young woman that she is. And so I just want to toast to Michael actually right now. Michael, may you always be the best husband you can be, my best friend. Just always hold her, love her, comfort her, surprise her, sweep her off her feet, but really just enjoy life together, because you guys are.
Yeah.
All right, my name is Derek Nickel, and I've known Michael for some number of years now. Before I get to Michael, actually, I would like Jim and Susan to stand, and Marty and Kathy to stand. I just think it's so great when I see parents like yourselves who have been together for as long as you have. Our generation really suffers from seeing that kind of faithfulness and commitment. And when it's people like you that come along and show us what marriage can look like, I have to honor that. So if you can just raise your glass and we'll toast Jim, Susan, Kathy, and Marty for their marriage, and may they live it on.
What you do here? Right Now where's he going?
I have something back here. Michael doesn't know I have. I'll be careful. Oh. Okay, so if you want to know how it is that Michael loves people, you have to know something about this. I don't know when in your relationship you made this project. I remember you describing it to me. But for those of you who can't see, it's a metal sculpture of Michael and Jen kissing, as you've seen them many times tonight doing. And I just thought it was so funny and just maybe a little strange that you had made this for Jen at the point that you did in their relationship. And it's so funny because I was just talking to Monique today about the weird things that Michael has done for Jen. She says, no, listen. When Michael turned 26, Jen was determined to outdo Michael in strangeness, and so she had made 26, what was it, cotton ball?
Yeah. What are they called? Study breaks, apparently. Okay, so they were like little cotton balls that were different colors that she cut out paper feet for and then stuck googly eyes on them. And we like made different like hats and things with them. And she technically called them weird things. So So Michael got 26 weird things for his birthday.
And this is just what Michael does. When he is overwhelmed with love for someone, it's this sort of thing that he does. And if you know Michael, you know that you are loved. So much. Feel that way, you see that. Anyway, really though, it is hard for me to stand here and look at Michael at this point. I don't know if you guys know that feeling when you feel so indebted to somebody that you just feel like gravity is working extra hard on your heart. That's how I feel right now. I feel like I owe Michael my life because Michael really taught me about Jesus, and that was something that was really pivotal in my life. I didn't believe that Jesus was personal and intimate and loving, and I just couldn't believe that until I met Michael. And for those of you who know Michael, you know that he loves invasively. You may feel like a victim of Michael's love. I'm glad that you can handle that. Some of us have a hard time handling that. But what I want to point out though is that Michael really loves from the depth of who he knows himself to be. He loves very intimately, and I think that's exactly how Jesus loves us. And so this is something that as you two are living your marriage out, and I think people are going to get to see that kind of love that you have for one another. You love your real selves. Jen, you're going to get to know who Michael is. You know who Michael is. You're going to get to know a lot more. And I think a lot of women do not get that in their marriages. And so I just want to toast to Michael and Jen. So if you raise your glasses, may you live the kind of life and have the kind of marriage where people can look at you and know Jesus. Cheers.
Let's give them a big round of applause, ladies.